This is my online diary of my notebook. I have done this as many people may not be able to read my handwriting. You will see my day-to-day thoughts and notes on my project. I hope you find it very interesting. Day 1. After deciding on creating the jail and the background for my Punch and Judy show, I chose to start with the jail. First, I am going to design the jail on paper and choose all the different colours. I have drawn the outline of the jail and the cupcake shop that disguises the jail. At this moment, I have been working for over 45 minutes. I love to see how the design in my head comes to life. It's very important to take a break after a while so that you don't overdo the work and ruin it. I am leaving it there for today as I am very happy with my design and I am going to think about what to do next. Day 2. Today I've decided I'm going to make a mini prototype of the jail like they do when they are creating big stage props. After talking to the people I thought might be able to help me with my project, Caitlin mentioned to me that she uses something called mount board for her mini box sets. So I purchased some and then began to start building. I am thinking that I don't want the bricks to be square, as in the time of Punch and Judy, they didn't have square bricks to create the buildings. My finished prototype, and I am very excited to see what comes next. First, I am going to check in with my practitioner. Day 3. Today, I am starting to create the actual prop. I am very pleased with how my prototype turned out. The first thing I am going to do is measure and cut out the wood. I have to make sure that Mr. Punch fits in the jail, so I'm going to measure him against the wood. After cutting out the outline of the jail, I had to draw around the jail to make sure the cupcake shop was the same size. I had to get my dad to cut out the centre as I found it a bit tricky. Then I decided I would sellotape the pieces together to make sure they were as close to identical as I could get them. Now, I had to think about safety all the way through this project, as safety is very important. So I had to sand down the wood and take off all the sharp edges. And now I'm getting ready to paint the wood. I had to get some special paints for the props recommended to me by my practitioner, Mark. I'm going to start with the black base coat from the cupcake shop. While that is drying, I'm going to paint the grey base coat for the jail. Now I have done these two base coats, I am going to let them dry overnight and continue in the morning. I have started to record my notes in a video form as I kept forgetting to write down the notes. Okay, so this is the grey base coat for the jail. What I'm going to do, this is the mini prototype of the jail, is paint bricks but in brown onto here. So what I've got to do is roughly measure the right size for the bricks. They don't have to all be the same, but roughly the same type. So if you see in the prototype, they are the same width apart, but it doesn't matter what shape they are within that size. So let's give it a go. So what I have to take into account here is how the audience will see the bricks, if they're going to be too small or
over dramatically big, but yes, I roughly know that a brick has to end at the top of, well, I would like it to end there, and if I go down here, a brick would like to end there. So using my prototype, I'm going to have a go. So what I've done now is I've drawn the horizontal lines in pencil so that when I paint over it, you won't be able to see them. But then what will happen is I will do another grey coat over this once I've done the brown bricks, and then I'm going to work out the width of each brick and see what size I'd like them. So hopefully it'll work. So now that I've drawn all the bricks, what I am going to do is go over the lines in the black, but make them a bit more rocky and wiggly lines. So if I show you on my prototype, the lines are a bit more wiggly because when they used to build jails out of stone, they weren't all straight carved like nowadays. They were all uneven, wiggly shapes. So as you can see now, what I'm doing is going over the grey lines with my black acrylic paint, and this is so from the stage you can see where each individual brick ends and starts, and we'll see how it gets on in a minute. Now you can see it's beginning to take shape. I'm going to now do the lines that are horizontal, and I will keep you updated. I just have to keep reminding myself, as I've just realised, from the view far away, the lines don't always appear thick enough, so I just need to thicken up some of these lines. Looking at it so far, I'm really pleased with it. I have noticed that I might have to carry on the bricks inside, which on the mini prototype I never even thought of. So I'll have to carry them on, because imagine if you were seeing the jail from this angle, you would see the inner bricks. So that's my next job. Whilst also realising that I needed to extend the lines in the side of that, I've also realised, hang on, this looks like this plain brick on the sides as well, so I'll have to do it all the way around. So that's my next job. So now that I believe the black is finished, I'm going to wash my brush, and then I'm going to apply the black brick work, which is there, you can see. And then I've had another idea that I might even add a few like green mossy parts to make it look like the jail's been there for ages. So that'll be in my next video. So far I have just finished the brown brickwork. I think it's looking absolutely amazing. I've noticed that there is a few imperfections on the brickwork, so I'm going to go over them now and fill in the little cracks, and then I'm going to once again do the edges and carry on the bricks around the edge, because that's what you will see. Well, I've now finished the painting of the colours for the jail. There's its little prototype. That's it in bigger version. So what I'm going to do now, if I go closer, is I'm going to hopefully buy some varnish and gloss where you can paint over it and make it all shiny. But yeah, as you see that angle, I've extended the bricks down as well as the side. So yep, my next thing is to varnish with this one.
After speaking to my practitioner, he gave me some advice. as you heard in the last video, I was going to get some shiny gloss varnish for the finish, but I'm glad I talked to Mark before I did. I completely forgot about the sun and it never crossed my mind about the reflection.
So what I'm doing today is I'm going to start on the cupcake shop. So I have measured the width of this part to the width of this part, as I remember I made one of those widths a bit bigger so you can fit all the top detail on a bit better. So I found that this one is bigger than this one, so that is the top. So now I'm going to mark out where all the little pieces go. What I have done now is drawn the outline of where every individual piece is going, including the shutter at the top. So I've done a little tweak here. Instead of having it pointy, I've decided I like the round ones because I saw it in my village a minute ago. So now I'm going to get these two paints and start painting. I'll keep you posted. So I began putting the red and the yellow on, but I've realised that the yellow for some reason is really streaky. So I might have to go over it a couple of times, or I might have to switch to a completely different paint. The red isn't that bad, I might go over it again, but let's see what comes. So this morning I came down to find that the yellow paint didn't really go on very well. It sort of like went all see-through. So I've now got a different acrylic paint here in my hand, and I've just started going over it, which it does look a lot better, but I'll do a few more coats of this one. You can see the difference. So I'll keep you posted. With the third coat now on, it looks a lot better. I think I'll do one more coat just to get those dark bits, and then I'm going to outline them in black. Yeah, after this is the fourth coat, it's still showing black signs, but yeah. I think I've made a bit of a change to my design. This all the letters are in black, but I think I might like it in red. So I'm going to try it in red, and if not, then I can always go over it in black. So what I'm going to do now with the cake shop front is make sure that the paint is dried 100%, and then I'm going to write in pencil on the signs where the letters go to make sure they're all correct, and then I will start painting over them. So I just tried to write the letters in a red. It's called a burnt red, so it's not the fluorescent red like I use at the top, even though it might appear like it. Comparing it to the black, I think I prefer the red, so I'm going to stick with the red. So I have now finished the writing, and I have put some black detail on the top. I'm very pleased with it. Now all I have to do is wait for the paint to dry and add the varnish.